Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode on 539. So today we are back after many years to the Cosper Cemetery east of Auburn, Indiana. And when we were here last time, I discovered something that was quite a mystery to me, and I finally was able to solve that mystery. And so I thought we'd go back in here, take a look at some of the history here, and wind our way back to the back of the cemetery where a very large unmarked memorial is placed, and I have again found out what it is. So let's get out, check this place out, and then go over the history of how this mammoth brick memorial came to be and why it looks the way that it does. So just another rudimentary I wouldn't even call it an update, as you can see. And so that shows you kind of probably that there isn't a whole lot of money coming into places like this to replace the gates. They just put these little homemade ties up and call it a day. Well, not exactly homemade, but you get the point. So a really narrow plot here, probably about 30 feet, 40 feet from side to side, and then makes a long L pattern. And I don't have a flashlight with me today, but thankfully a lot of these seem to be in decent condition. And this is the grave of Elizabeth Coulet, 1833 to 1897. And I'm not exactly sure where the husband John is buried. I would assume probably right next to her, but it's really, as you can see, the backside doesn't have any writing on it. And then if we maneuver around to the front here, it looks like it's been kind of wiped clean over the years with probably a heck of a lot of rainwater and wind and all kinds of elements. You can even tell that there once was a retaining wall going around most of this structure here. And little bits and pieces of evidence that it went probably all the way around. Something is right here. It doesn't look officially to be a grave, although I can't be certain. It is possible that something once set on it, similar to what you're seeing here in front, and it would be a perfect line going over here. And so I don't know, that's a good question to answer. Maybe we'll be able to look that up and find out some answers to that. And again, one that I'm now sort of regretting not bringing my flashlight with me today. I might be able to just pull out my phone and see if how well the flashlight works on there. Yeah, I don't think this is going to be quite enough. Well, we can increase the brightness. And it might be that I can get it later, though. It looks a little bit more clear on camera. I'm getting 1829 to 18, looks like 59. And Valentine Hay, or Hayes perhaps. Okay, Well, that's actually kind of helpful. And then in between is another marker here that really has, as it appears anyway, no way to read unless, again, it's on the back side, but whatever stone these are made from appears to be very susceptible to weather, to weather, to the wind and the rain, the snow, because it seems that almost every one of them here is completely unreadable. So here we have Catherine Shirk, died April 12th, 1893, aged 79 years, 6 months, and 17 days. Again, you can see that in sort of the spirit of the cemetery, no pun intended, there's only a single row of graves going back until it turns the bend right here, and then it really widens out and you can see they have several different rows. So it's a very interesting design for a cemetery. So let me know if you've seen anything like this before. I know that sometimes it's just what land is donated to them. It might have been some area that wasn't as fertile for growing crops, or I don't really know the story of how the land was acquired, but yeah, just a very interesting shape to it. And then over here we have memorialized John Shirk, October 29th, 1887, aged 66 years and 1 day. Huh. It's kind of interesting. It's Thomas J. Shreve, excuse me. Interesting that it's in spelling somewhat similar to the Shirk last name. I'm sure that there's really no story behind it, other than probably just a massive coincidence, but kind of interesting still. And a small but thick stone here, and it still has engraving on it, or it has been perhaps re-engraved over the years as just CEM, and on the other side of it is nothing. Probably was that way in antiquity as well, though. So overall, this place just looks amazing. They've done obviously quite some work over the years. There's no way that this place has remained like this on its own. So, and as you could tell from the sign, it is owned apparently by the local city government, so it probably gets brought up from time to time in council meetings and gets some funding. So obviously not a heck of a lot, you know, considering that the gate is clearly broken or moved so far away that it can't close properly, but it does look like they have cared for this place quite well over the years. And I don't know if anybody's here volunteering or what, but well, clearly there's somebody volunteering sometime, we'll say that, or the city is paying, or the county, I should say, is paying for the services to be done by someone. But here we can see the memorial for Daniel McGinnis, excuse me. March 18th, 1829 to June 13th of 1907. And there's a few other people on the other side here. Caroline E., wife of D. McGinnis, died July 27th, 1882, aged 47, 9 months, and 20 days. Mary Krim, looks like, 1821. Oh no, 1821 to 1899. This place is not quite that old. I believe 1855 is the official date that it was, I think, transferred over to the county, so probably sometime before that. I'm not sure quite what this is. It looks like it was a patch of cement that was here before, so again, it might represent the base of one of these memorials that has just either been temporarily taken away for restoration work, or potentially it just disappeared altogether. So it's kind of hard to say. I'm not sure exactly when I visited this place last. It's a memory of mine, but I don't remember what. It's been probably about 3 or 4 years, I think. So I need to go back and check some of the footage and see what's new and what has changed. Looks like we have Luther Drury here, 1856, and then Lucina, maybe? Daughter of something Jones, 1860. Again, if I can correct these afterwards, I will try and do so. And along the fence here, it looks fairly good. There is a stone up here that clearly has fallen. I don't know if that's something recent. It does look like it was intentionally placed like this. So it appears that somebody knows about it. It looks like it's Elizabeth Sitchman, and I believe 1869 is the year on that. And I know we didn't do a deep dive on this place before, so I hope that you all enjoy going a little bit deeper into this history as we make our way towards our monument here in the back. Yeah, I'm not sure, based on, it looks like maybe, you can see the tree line here. I think the tree line was actually maybe the historic property line, and they just put the updated fence here at some point in history. So, yeah, let me know what you think, because it just seems like some of the memorials to this side are very close to the chain link, and I feel like they probably wouldn't have historically done that. Not that there's anything really wrong with it. I'm not trying to be judgmental, just an observation, really. And this is the memorial of J.M. Weeks, 1897, aged 83 years, 6 months, and 11 days. And it looks like, let's see, is there anybody else on? Oh, yes, okay. And his wife, Mary. 1872, October 3rd. And looks like it says 58 years, 8 months, and 21 days. And almost looks like it's been recently cleaned. I'm not sure if they're planning to restack this monument and repair it completely. It kind of looks like a few things in here have been placed in a way that they can be easily repaired when they get to it, or when the budget allows. Nothing's really kind of in a state of disrepair, if you know what I mean. It does seem like everything's sort of intentionally placed for further restoration. And yeah, I don't know if the cemetery was in this good of shape last time. If anybody remembers, make sure to let me know in the comments below. I'm going to try and look for the episode as well, but I'm not sure what backup it's on, so who knows. And so far, no suspicious people have really pulled by. I think even the local police did a drive-by and didn't, that sounds weird, drove by and didn't seem to mind. So not one of those places that seems overly protected by the local population. Seems that they know that it's well cared for. for and well maintained, and have trust in the public to go and check it out. So that's kind of cool. Sometimes you just feel unwelcome in some locations. This is not one of them. I cannot read anything, but it looks like June 7th, I think 78. And I know I'm making y'all wait for the big moment, but I did want to go around the edges here too and get some of this stuff so that it's not missed. Who knows how long these are going to last. Obviously this place has got a budget, so it probably will be replaced or redone at some point, but you know, it's always nice to see the originals before they completely disappear and the whole place is just one big restoration project with brand new stones. And you know, I'd like people to be able to see what it looked like before. Wow, this is really dug out. I don't know if this is a groundhog, maybe. I'm gonna try not to disturb it. You can see we have our one entry hole over here, and it looks like another one that has been filled, and then we go all the way back. I'm gonna zoom in because I just heard some noises coming from the hole, and I am not prepared. I doubt that a groundhog is going to be so aggressive that it would attack, honestly, but I don't want to disturb it either. So, okay, that looked like metal for a second, but it's actually just a seed pod, or a, I don't know what you call it, an encasing of a nut, I guess. So we have Ella Miller, March 3rd, 1886, 82 years. What does that say? It looks like 8 months and 17 days, but they have like, it says like an RS. Huh. A little confused by that. I do want to check to see, okay. We do have Catherine here, wife of Eli, excuse me. I read it wrong in the front. It's Eli Miller. 1897, aged 82 years, 9 months and 25 days. And it is written the normal way on the on that side. And here, two more of these small memorials. Again, completely worn off. Oh, and I did want to look at this one over here. And we have right here, let's see, Frank Carper. Yeah, Frank Carper, March 29th, 1886. Mary Carper, 1892. And is there anything on this side? Doesn't look like it. Okay. Ooh. So let's carefully crouch down here. Now you can see, so the top of this is actually broken off, and that top is laying right there. And there's this little memorial that just says AVC, and that appears to be the very last memorial there. I don't see, again, like I said, I don't think this is the original property line. I think the actual tree there is technically the property line, but I don't see anything outside of the borders. And there's another gigantic entryway into, or it might be maybe multiple holes and multiple groundhogs. I don't really know. But from what I understand, they're pretty prolific diggers, so I think they can have fairly large holes. But I don't know how exactly, how long they would make their tunnel systems. So if you know about groundhogs, let me know. This is John Carper. October 26, 1895, 62 years, 4 months, and 7 days, and also Sarah, 1835 to 1924, and then right next to another Carper, Alda Viola. Wow, what a cool name. October 14th, 1886. Wow. And here's an interesting one. It has a flag, and you can see 2 bases here. And this is David Cosper, War of 1812 veteran here, which is really amazing. 1783 to 1868. So that's why we see the American flag here, to memorialize his service to the country in that war. And no mention though of what this is, and maybe it might have been an actual plaque, military plaque, like we often see with the 1812 and Civil War and some of the other wars around that time, up to about the sorry, I thought somebody drove by, but again, just another quick drive-by. I thought they were stopping. All right, but anyway, actually, I'm not sure the last war that they used those in, but if you know, let me know. Let's see if the writing on these is just completely worn, or if maybe it's even on the other side. Okay, yeah, and it is just on the other side there. You see Mary Hunter, it looks like 1880 something. I will try and get that a little later. I'm in a very weird position that I can't read my camera, and it's not as visible in person. And I think some of these are half stones. I think this is actually cut in half. And one that actually has been, I thought this was actually in need of restoration, but I think this is the permanent placement that they have done a laying down position like we see pretty often actually, and they have just placed it as close to where it's severed as possible. Almost impossible to read. I'm gonna have to see if I can get some of this later. You can see the tree of life there at the top. And that brings us to this gigantic brick structure. And I think I had mentioned before that I thought it looked like it had something here, and I thought it looked like almost like it was fashioned to look like a church. And I was able to locate some information about what this structure was, and it turns out that there actually never was anything on here. Now, that doesn't mean though that there was no intention. See, this actually was supposed to be a Civil War memorial. And according to the story, and it wasn't quite specific, but I'll put the publication that it was written in so that you can go back and look at it yourself, and also to give them credit. But according to it, a sitting president apparently was at a Civil War Council meeting and had mentioned this place actually in history, that there had been a plan to put a Civil War memorial here, and they had ordered some plaques, some metal plaques I guess, to be placed into these open areas here. And unfortunately, the people that they paid to do this job just took the money and ran. So they literally stole the money in the 1800s. So this was something that I believe was, again, it didn't say the exact date, but it appears that it was something that was built either in the late 1800s or the early 1900s. And I will try to look up a little bit more information to see if I can find out when that was. Because for whatever reason they weren't specific on the dates, but it's literally a story of a historic theft, a bait and switch. They just literally, well, I guess it's not a bait and switch, they just literally took the money and then disappeared and never actually built or constructed the plaques that were meant to go here. So an amazing story. about a bit of crime that went on in history, and seeing that there was some historic scam artists that were using the Civil War just for profit. And this is a gigantic now memorial to that crime that occurred in history. So just an incredible story that I've never heard anything like it. I'm sure that there has been other crimes like that that have occurred, and if you know about something in your area, please share it with us in the comments below. I'd love to hear from some of you if you know stories similar to this one. But I just thought it was so amazing, you know, and it really had kind of captured my imagination when we were here the last time, wondering what in the world could have happened, why was it either not finished or had been, whatever had been there, been removed. And now we have the answer, that this is literally a historic crime scene that we're standing on, where some people claim that they were going to make a Civil War memorial to memorialize all those people that had died in this area, and it was supposed to contain, I believe, all of their names, and then they just took the money and stole it. So again, an incredible story from a very small little country graveyard out in DeKalb County, east of Auburn, Indiana. So if you're out in the area, you never checked this place out, make sure to come out and take a look, and yeah, take in some of the amazing scenery. It's been a little bit rainy and nasty out recently, and we're pre-spring, but here in a few months this place is going to look absolutely epic. It looks like there's maybe even some, I don't know if those are grapevines or what kind of vines they are, but I bet this place looks incredible during the summer. I don't honestly remember from last time, so I'm just going to have to come back and check it out again myself. And so let's read a few more things here before we take off. So we have Eve Wallace here, 1874, aged 73 years. And then this is her husband here, James Wallace, May 3rd, 1871, aged 78 years. And then also memorialized here is, let's see, Hesenia, another interesting name, son of Francis Wallace, August 1st, 1863. Looks like aged 10 years, 3 months, and 28 days. I do see another Veterans Memorial that I think I missed. This is just a very simple EB. What is this? A little cricket. Looks like we have a pre-spring cricket. I don't know how well the weather is going to be. Hopefully it doesn't freeze again and affect him or her or it. I don't know. So let's see. What it just says Gasson. Okay, Gasson Burton. I see. Passed on February 8th, 1862. It doesn't say. I'm assuming it probably that they served in the Civil War. You can see that they were aged 18 years. So I'm guessing that this was a Civil War veteran that died in action. Wow. This is kind of interesting. It just kind of caught my eye. See, looks like the Bailey family, Cyrus and Permelia, excuse me, Permelia. Again, let me know if you know anything about some of these names. If you can tell me like the country of origin or meaning or whatnot, but there's no dates. It looks to me like the old stone is right here flipped over, so I'm not going to try and move it at all. Hopefully they put that back up as well. And here's one. There's no name. It looks like another one that's sheared off. It could be that the top of that is right. Excuse me, that this is actually the top of this. But it only says age 2 years, 8 months, and 4 days. So a little bit of a confusing one there, unfortunately. Alright everybody, thank you so much for joining me on this episode on 539. Make sure if this is your first time ever checking out the channel to hit that subscribe button, and as always, if you're enjoying the episodes, give the episode a big thumbs up so that YouTube knows that you care, and I will see you all in our next adventure.